Dunwoody, that's much too heavy for you. Please allow me.
Thank you.
My dear Mr. Barrows, I can't tell you what an honor this is, how simply delighted we are at your visit. I want to extend felicitations from myself and from my entire staff.
Fine, Newbold, fine.
Sugar or cream, sir?
Why not?
There you are. Mr. Newbold?
Thank you, Miss Dunwoody.
You're very welcome.
Now, Newbold, suppose we get back to this.
Why not? Indeed, sir. Yes, of course we can. I beg your pardon, sir.
He's fainted. Oh, heavens, he's fainted.
Excuse me, please. I'm a doctor.
I'd better phone for an ambulance. Best not to take any chances. This is more than just fainting. Phone's on the counter. Is there a couch? Yes, take him over here. Over there.
Is he all right?
He doesn't look very good.
Oh, he'll be all right as soon as they give him some oxygen.
Well, I hope so.
Stand back. Now, you two, fill us up. In there. Come on. Is this a joke, Newbold?
Oh, Mr. Barrows, I hardly think so.
Paul! Well?
Marvelous.
See? Everything in a single flowing motion. Nice and smooth, the arms straight, and everything else follows.
Like the night to day.
Amos, love, this is no way to learn.
You go to your school, I'll go to mine. Sorry, Captain. Now stop smiling.
It's, murder, Captain.
Kid, you know, I may retire before less. Marcy, love.
I know. Pity. You were doing so well.
Yes, we'll pick it up.
We better. I mean, half a lesson. What's that?
You took the words right out of my mouth.
Not fair to the student.
So true.
Or the teacher.
You're so right.
You wouldn't want the Better Business Bureau coming after me, would you?
I'll have them find their own girl.
Burke's Law.
I'm sorry, Captain. I'm not being very coherent.
Understandable, Mr. Newbold.
Poor Mr. Barrows, impossible. 30 years of banking, never an unpleasantness. Now this. Oh, dear. I feel I'm going to be ill.
Mr. Newbold.
Oh, thank you, Miss Dunwoody. How inconsiderate of me. Dreadful experience, shocking. Do take the rest of the day off.
Is that all right with you, Captain?
That's all right with me. Tim, what have you got?
Well, with just a spot check, they got over 200,000.
Poor Mr. Barrows. You know who he was, of course. Victor S. Barrows.
Financier.
The financier. Plastic, oil, steel. He owned this bank, you know. We never saw him from one year to the next. And then to pick this day for a visit. To die like that, accidentally. Dreadful. The wasting. Oh, my. Oh, heavens. Oh, Huggins, you do understand, don't you? I didn't mean that you should have been shot. I just meant that I...
Sure, Mr. Newbold. I'm just sorry I moved and made him fire.
Why did you move?
Oh, trying to get a better look at him for identification.
Hardly seems worth it. The driver was tall, about 6'1". The other was short, about 5'6", older type.
They wore stocking masks. Man wearing a thing like that, you can look at him all day and not see anything.
All right. So they wore stocking masks. What about the killer? The one who played doctor. You said you saw him earlier without a mask.
That's what's been driving me nuts, Captain. Trying to remember him. Something I could pin down. But I keep coming up with one word.
What's that?
Medium. Medium height, hair, color, everything. Medium. Just like the fellow that you forget the minute he walks out of your sight. You know, like Mr. Average.
Except for one thing. Mr. Average doesn't kill. I'll keep in touch. Tim. It's wild, the whole ball of wax. Doctor, nobody can describe the stocking mask. Man fainted his bait.
The hospital called. They checked out that man who fainted. They pumped his stomach and then released him.
What's his story?
Shall we find out?
Boss, lady leave note.
What lady?
Beautiful lady, what else?
Help. Party time. 10103 Wilshire. Fun, games, and me. Elizabeth D. Well, well.
Captain, shall we go see our fainting friend?
No. Pick up Les. You go see him. I just can't stand to see a lady in trouble.
Bloody awful, isn't it?
Well, the concept is vague and the composition is rather trite, but...
Later, Gauguin. The art can wait, Mr. Pickett. We're talking about a killer, the doctor in the bank.
Yeah, well, he wasn't a ruddy doctor when he came in here this morning.
Mr. Pickett, you're going around in circles again.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Have you ever had your tummy pumped, Governor? Sure you won't have a cup?
No thanks, just the details.
Oh, well, I'm probably sorry. Well, as I say, this chap, your doctor, he came in here this morning and he took a fancy to this. Blimey, I wasn't half ready. I'd made a sale in weeks. You know, it's a dreary business, art, you know. It's all phases and what's fashionable. You may be selling abstracts and they come looking for primitives. You know, I should have listened to my old mum. She always warned me about going into trade.
Mr. Pickett, the man, please.
Oh, yes, I'm frightfully sorry. Well, you see, this bloke, he really did want this. In fact, he suggested taking it with him, but I could hardly allow that, could I? I mean, After all, he only had about half the cash that was needed, and I could hardly accept a check from some bloke who just walked in off the street. It made a bit of a muddle, I'll tell you.
But you did unmuddle it.
Oh, no, he did. You see, he said that he had an account with a bank just down the street. We was to pop down there together and he'd get the cash.
So you popped.
Well, blimey, I'd have walked all the way to Brighton to rid myself of this perishing fright. Well, a few steps from the bank, this bloke, Brown, I think he said his name was, he suddenly decided he was famished, and he insisted on my having a spot of lunch with him. I mean, after all, I had gone this far, hadn't I?
You had the lunch?
Well, it was a small do. Just a tea and a sandwich, really. But, you know, once I got inside that bank, I said, oh, that's bloody awful, isn't it? Well, I don't remember a ruddy thing after that. Everything suddenly went absolutely black. Not a ruddy thing do I remember after that. Oh, except that tummy pump. Well, I remember that all right. That was a rugged do, I must say.
What did the man look like, Mr. Piggott?
Well, he was, he looked like anyone else.
That's not a description, Mr. Piggott.
Oh, I'm frightfully sorry.
How old would you say he was?
Oh, about 50, maybe 60.
Well, that's quite a spread. How about weight and height?
Well, as I remember, he was rather slim, but shorter than me. Oh, yeah, definitely shorter. You know, it was sort of average all round. Mild, bland, sort of face in the crowd sort, you know.
Yeah, I know. Well, try coloring. Eyes, skin, hair.
Oh, he was on the fair side, I should say. You know, blondish, sandyish, you might say.
Mr. Piggott, there's a big difference between the two.
Oh, there is? Really? Oh, well, blimey, then I'd better own up, hadn't I? But you won't go bruting it about, will you? You see, I'm frightfully colorblind. Always have been.
Don't you find that a handicap in the art business?
Oh, come on now, Governor. What with all this stuff around me, I find it an absolute necessity.
Miss Dunn? I'd like to see him. Hi there.
Hi. Oh, you look beautiful.
I don't mean to sound dense, but your note said something about a party.
This is it.
Oh?
Well, you wouldn't want to clutter it up with a lot of people.
Oh, I see. A small but intimate group.
That's right. Sit down. Now, isn't this better than funny hats and noisemakers?
No argument. But I'm sure your boss, Mr. Newbold, wouldn't jump up and down with glee.
My boss? Oh, honey, you can't mean what I think you mean.
That's a nice hand.
He's old enough to be my father.
I think he'd like to be.
Doesn't mean a thing. All the boys act that way with me. Don't know why.
I do.
Captain. What a sweet thing to say. Nice. Now put your mind to it. Well, I guess there's no getting round it.
Round what?
Oh, when a fella can't take yes for an answer, that means he's got questions on his mind. So unless you ask them, we'll never get the party started.
All right. You have quite an apartment here.
Mm-hmm.
Have you been saving your pennies, or has the scale for secretaries gone up again?
Mother and Daddy have scads of money, and they just like for me to be comfy.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Mr. Newbold is just a nice, friendly old boss.
Mm-hmm.
So now that that's off your mind, defend yourself.
As soon as you hear from him, have him contact me. Oh, never mind, he just walked in.
To what?
Well, to begin with, Mr. Piggott, you know, the man who fainted at the bank, wasn't acting. The hospital called and said that he was definitely fed knockout drops Hence his little nap on the bank floor.
Well, we can scratch, Mr. Pickett. We're right back at the starting gate.
Not that far back. Kearney's a private ambulance service called and screamed about one of their ambulances missing. So I went over there and I had a talk with him. And it seems that yesterday, a Mr. Brown came in, hired an ambulance for today to take a sick mother to Mojave. But this morning, when the driver went to the apartment, nobody named Brown lived there.
And when he got back to the curb, no ambulance, right?
That's it.
And nobody could describe Mr. Brown because he is Mr. Average.
You've got it. How'd you do?
Oh, I found out that the banking business isn't always dull.
This just came in. A household in the hills near Malibu called, said he saw a vehicle go off the road into a ravine, place called Rock Ledge.
Accident?
No, he was going too slow for that. It was too far away to be sure, but he said it looked as though it was nudged over. Just got a quick look, and he couldn't be positive of the vehicle itself, but thought it might be a small bus or an ambulance.
All right, spend some of the city's gas. Get on it.
Well, this is it, all right. I hope it's not on a dead end.
What do you think, George? Any chance of prints?
I doubt it. It's wiped pretty clean. Did come up with something else, though.
What's that? Blood?
Enough for a replay of World War II. Hey, wait a minute. There are a couple of nice, clean prints. Well, we can lift them. Somebody's in trouble.
We're back in business. Let's go.
Good morning.
You'll think so. The lab came through. Prints in the ambulance belong to him.
Frank Willard. Doesn't ring a bell.
Oh, we've got a make sheet on him. Goes way back.
Encouraging?
Not two, all three for $1 stuff. Petty theft, purse snatching, a little muscle. I remember him. I picked him up. He's a big hulk, not too bright. He'd make a great Lenny if they ever bring back of mice and men.
My, we are graphic this morning.
And puzzled. Willard's always been a lush, but the last couple of years he's really hit bottom. Skid Row address. I add that to an IQ that's always been cut rate, and you don't exactly come up with an Einstein.
I couldn't have put it any better.
Well, how do you tie him in with a razzle-dazzle bank heist and a killing?
Well, why don't you and Tim find out and stop cluttering up my office?
All right. Where do we start?
Well, you said he was a lush, didn't you? Why don't you try Cully's bar? All lushes end up there sooner or later.
No wonder you're a captain.
That's what I've been telling you.
You heard the captain. Stop cluttering up the office.
Cully?
I wouldn't work in a dump like this if I didn't own it.
Ask a silly question.
Yeah, let's try another. You know him?
Hey, you hit the jackpot, Ace. That's Frank Willard. What'd he do, keel over someplace?
What makes you ask that, Cully?
Well, I'll put it this way. If the Columbia River was pure alcohol, Willard would be swimming upstream.
So we hear.
Hey, Louie, will you go on home?
Yeah, it's sad, very sad. To both of them.
Both of them?
Yeah, Willard and his friend Doyle, Vinnie Doyle. Both of them cut from the same cloth, so to speak.
I gather your point is that Willard and Doyle were barflies.
Didn't I say it?
Yeah, well, it costs money to drink.
So they got little odd jobs. You know, anything to pick up a bottle or a sip. Lately, they seem to have the price. Louie, will you go on home?
Who provided it?
What?
The free drinks for Willard and Doyle.
You didn't get it from me, huh?
No.
Well, it seems like a couple of nights running. Every time I looked, some guy was buying for him. I never saw him before.
What did he look like?
Well, he was, plain, kind of hard to describe.
Medium?
Yeah?
All over?
Yeah, I was just about to say that.
Everybody does. Mr. Average again. It all adds up to Mr. Average.
Thanks, Gully.
Yeah, anytime. All right, Louie, come on in.
My dear Walters, in a business constantly fraught with unseen hazards, one must be permitted an occasional miscalculation. True, my dear Walters, I did indeed err yesterday. But today, my friend, you shall recoup handsomely. Right you are, sir. The 7th at Hialeah. And the noble steed's name is Action Plus. And in the parlance of the trade, the horse is ready and he should pay a hatful. Good day, sir, and have faith. Well, it's been a long time, dear Captain.
You sell the fellow the wrong horse, Duke?
Strongly put, but accurate.
The horse tout business sounds a little perilous to me.
Well, child's play compared to my former occupation, wouldn't you say?
Well, 4 years of cell time proved the point. Or at least it should have.
Confidentially, I must confess, I never was able to understand the attitude of the law in that respect. Here was I, a cartographer, a maker and seller of maps and diagrams.
Come on now, Duke. Those maps you were making were bank floor plans, which turned out to be bank heists. That's why we sent you up.
Oh, but that was years ago, just a mere technicality. I never partook.
Well, let us say you supplied the weapons.
An automobile kills occasionally. One doesn't incarcerate the manufacturer.
All right, all right. You know the scam around town, Duke. I want to talk to you about a bank robbery.
Shh, Captain. The walls have ears.
The Fourth National Bank, yesterday. You read about it?
Should Heifetz retire, rest assured he won't lose an interest in music.
You heard anything?
Not a whisper.
Got any opinions?
Too flamboyant, too unbusinesslike for pros. More like an amateur who got lucky.
Yeah, I toyed around with that, too. I just wanted it backed up.
Excuse me. Duke of Epsom, investment counselors. Ah, Mr. Sewell, good afternoon. Indeed, I do have the Blue Streak special. The 7th at Hialeah. The noble animal's name is Daddy's Boy, and he should pay a hatful. Good day, sir, and have faith.
You sold Mr. Walters Action Plus?
Naturally.
You mean you sell each customer a different horse in the same race?
Thereby guaranteeing one customer who wins, and often stays on the hook for months.
Oh.
Excuse me. Duke of Epsom, investment counselors. Ah, Mr. Avery, the 7th at Hialeah, have I got a horse for you. The noble steed's name is Blue Nose.
When did you first notice this condition?
Long day with gun and handcuffs? Oh, you're far away. That's a terribly nice mouth. Oh, you are far away.
It seems I was wrong about your boss's hand patting. It was really kid gloves for very good reasons.
Name one.
All right. Victor Barrows owned the bank. Victor Barrows got you the job. Victor Barrows paid your rent. Victor Barrows is dead.
Amos, that's marvelous.
Yes, I thought you'd like it.
Oh, back home we had a sheriff. He couldn't even find the police station.
That wasn't exactly my point.
Oh, now what's wrong with a nice, wealthy man like Mr. Barrows wanting a girl to have nice, wealthy things? I would have told you sooner, but I just didn't want you to get the wrong idea.
Now, how could I ever do that?
I thought it was very nice of him to take such an interest.
Oh, yes, he took quite an interest.
Oh, for heaven's sakes, Amos, it was just platonic.
Platonic?
Well, he never showed up more than once a week. Oh.
Send me off tackle this time, Coach. That flanker is murder. Okay, I'm sorry.
No, don't be. I think you just said the magic word.
I did?
Murder. Bank manager, Mr. Barrows, bank guard. According to the bank guard, he leaned forward to take a better look at Mr. Nobody in the hoods. Mr. Nobody shot Mr. Barrows accidentally. Why? Why shoot at the bank guard? Only an idiot would add murder to bank robbery when he didn't have to.
Then you don't think they deliberately planned to kill a guard?
No. I think Mr. Barrows' death was no accident. He was supposed to die. Which would make the bank robbery a cover for murder.
Squad car just called in, Amos. They're in the dock area. Put a Santel Street waiting for you. Your wino friend, Frank Willard.
Well. Willard won't have to worry about alcohol anymore.
The little one fits the buddy's description, Vince Doyle.
What have you got, Roy?
A young kid made the find. He thought he had himself a tarpaulin for a tent until he looked underneath. It was about 11. I sent him home to stop shaking.
Any identification?
Nothing. Powder burn's pretty heavy. Must have been shot at very close range.
You can bet on it. I'll drop you off at headquarters, Tim. Wagon's on its way, Roy, then wrap it up.
Yes, sir.
Well, that should be the last of the killings anyway.
Now, what makes you come up with that little tidbit?
Well, they were shot in the ambulance and dumped here, right?
Probably.
By the little man nobody remembers.
Probably.
Nobody left to kill. Everybody tied in with it is dead.
Be an optimist on your own time. If the bank job was a cover for Victor S. Barrows' murder, then it's a whole new ball game. We don't even know who the players are or why. For all we know, that little man may still be at bat swinging for the fences. I'm Captain Burke of Homicide. I believe Mrs. Barrows is expecting me.
Captain Burke.
Peter Barrows. We spoke on the phone.
Mr. Barrows, I'm sorry about your father.
Thank you. My mother's expecting you. She's in the library. Captain, be very gentle. She's been ill, and now this is... Mother, this is Captain Burke. I have an appointment. If there's anything you need me for, I'll...
No need.
Good night.
Captain?
I'll be brief, Mrs. Barrow. I know it's a difficult time.
Time. There's nothing left but time now. 27 years, and then there's only time.
Would you mind telling me about your husband?
What do I say? That he was a great man, kind, generous. Yes, he was all those things. He gave us everything we wanted. Whatever we wanted, Victor provided. Well, you can ask anyone. He was a great man. A fine man.
Mrs. Barrows, there's no easy way of asking this, but was there anyone who disliked your husband enough to be glad it happened, or even to make it happen?
You're trying to confuse me now. They said it was an accident.
We thought so, but it doesn't add up that way any longer. Anything you can think of might help. Was there anyone who wished your husband harm for any reason?
No, it was an accident. He was admired. He was envied. There were no enemies. He gave us everything we wanted. He gave us everything. He provided for us. He was a fine man, a great man.
So you say.
I did. Oh, I'm sorry. I've been ill. I'm so very tired. Excuse me, please.
Court.
I'm all right.
I'm sorry, Miss Barrows. It's a terrible thing to happen, particularly to someone you love.
Love. Yes. There are many kinds of love. Aren't there?
Captain Burke.
I didn't mean to break up your exercise, Mr. Cortlandt.
Well, I'm very grateful, sir. This reducing is barbaric. I think my physician is absolutely mad. You'll have to excuse the surrounding, captains, but my day is very full.
With Mr. Barrows dead, I'm sure it'll become even fuller. When a partner dies, I imagine the workload becomes double.
Let's take a shortcut, Captain. I have an idea, you've an idea, that Barrows was deliberately killed, not accidentally.
That's the way it reads. I'm shopping around for motives. Someone who'd like Barrows dead.
Well, you'll achieve a list larger than this, Captain.
Oh?
And I'm afraid I'll be extremely high on that list.
For any particular reason?
Captain Vic Barrows was everything that you've ever heard about him. He was a tycoon, a dynamo, an egomaniac. He was a monster with every miserable quality that there is in the book. He trod upon necks all the way up. He never looked back, and no neck was exempt.
Does that include your own?
No, but only because he needed me. Well, now, that makes me sound important, but that's misleading. This was a one-man empire. Oh, I was his partner, all right. But Victor S. Barrows was the brains, the drive, and the guts. I was the nice chemical engineer with a good family and good connections. A firm like ours needs that. Otherwise, mine would have been one of those necks.
What about Mrs. Barrows' neck?
Then you've talked with her? Fine woman.
Sick woman?
I've got to get back to the office, Captain.
Keep going, Mr. Cortlandt. You were doing so well.
My gluttony is limited to food. Barrow's appetite encompassed everything, including women. And there was an endless string. Sent Elaine to the sanitarium twice. And I'll save you the next question, Captain. I care. Very much. And if it would have helped her, I'd have killed him.
But you didn't.
No, but for a very good reason. When you've got a one-man business and that one man dies, the business is in trouble. The stock is plummeting right now. I own a great deal of it, and it's going to be very expensive. Now, if you'll excuse me, Captain, I've got to get back to the office.
Do you mind some company? I'd like to look through Barrows' desk and personal papers.
Do you mind a little honesty?
I'll take all I can get.
In behalf of all those trod-upon necks, I hope you don't find a thing. Any progress?
No, just eye strain. I'll be out of your hair in a few minutes.
No hurry. Oh, George, do come in. Everything all right?
Yes, sir. Just need these checks signed.
Oh, George, Captain Burke, this is George Smith. George is our head accountant.
Mr. Smith? Captain. Thanks for the use of Mr. Barrow's desk. Do you mind if I borrow this?
Of course. Sorry I couldn't do more.
You can. You said that Mr. Barrows had a string of women friends.
A long string.
Who's current?
An actress. He admired the theatrical.
How theatrical?
Paulette Shane.
I'm impressed. That's a very big name.
He was a very big man.
I better find out if movies really are.
What?
Better than ever.
I'm sure this time, so very sure. But we dare not try again tonight. He's had all he can stand. Oh, don't fret, my faithful Igor. Tomorrow he will live. I promise you will have a companion. What will the doubters say then, Igor? They'll not only apologize, they'll beg me to join their stupid medical academy. They'll have no choice, for I will have created life. I, Professor Merton, will actually have made a man.
Hot print, beautiful. Oscars for everybody. Lovely, Mingo. Lovely, sweetheart. That's true. Here, Booby, have a smoke. Yeah, that's a good boy. Oh, that beautiful, baby. That real truth.
Sure, baby.
You know, one thing worries me, though, the tag. I think maybe it's going to get a laugh.
Well, lots of luck. Where these pictures show that people need all the laughs they can get. Ours not to do or die. Ours but to take the money and run. Smile, darling, or I'll take away your dark glasses.
Oh, Paulette, forgot to tell you there's a civilian inside.
Oh, Chris?
Police.
Frank?
Captain.
Serraid.
Charlie, on the over shoulders. I want him a little looser in the thigh.
Miss Shane?
Paulette. Can I give you something?
No, thank you.
See, that's how you can tell. If a dressing room has a refrigerator, you're a star. The man tells me you're a police captain.
The man is right.
Well, I know that our scene was pretty awful, but I didn't realize it was a felony.
Oh, no. I liked it.
Oh, don't be kind. And don't be embarrassed, please. It couldn't matter less.
I dig horror pictures.
You do? Well, I guess I'm some sort of a freak. You know, I never once wanted to play Camille or Cleopatra or Streetcar, whatever its name was. Listen, this one is good compared to some of the bombs I've been in. Funny thing about it, though, New York and San Francisco will laugh, but all the high grass in between will eat it up. They'll come running with their money in their hot little hands, and I get 100,000 and 40% of the gross.
Paulette, sweetheart, whenever you're ready.
In a while, Lotsie. You see? If the tickets weren't selling, he'd be yelling, "Hey, you in there, you're on." Of course, making money is only the first part of it. Nowadays, you have to know what to do with it.
The way I hear it, you had the best financial advice around.
I knew you were getting to that. I even cued you into it. You want to know about me and Victor Barrows.
Or Victor Barrows and you.
Well, for what it's worth, I am what is laughingly called an independent thinker. That means I don't listen to gossip about anybody. If I like somebody, I like them, period.
And if you hate them? Exclamation point?
Oh, no. I know people stood in line to hate Victor, but I didn't. With me, he was fun. I like fun. I happen to believe that life is a one-shot. You better have a ball the first time around, because that's all there is. So Victor and I were very close. What the columnists love to refer to as good friends.
Word is, he had a lot of friends all over the place. Didn't it bother you?
Oh, stop trying to build a case. Jealousy is for children. If I were the kind to hang models on the wall, it would read, "Love and let love."
Man can learn something every day.
Lotsie, I said in a minute. Oh, Lotsie, I'm...
Baby, did anybody ever tell you you look cute when you're mad?
Captain Burke, this is Peter Barrows. As they say in the novels, a pregnant pause. Well, I guess I'd better get back to work. I hate to, though. I have a feeling the real scene's going to be right here.
Peter, Peter, Punkanita. Dressing room's make you jumpy. We can talk elsewhere.
There's nothing to talk about.
Well, we could start with bad taste for openers. Lots of ways to step into a father's shoes. This one's a little shabby around the edges.
That's a rotten thing to say.
Make it come up different and I'll apologize.
Don't look down your nose. You don't know what he was like.
I'm learning.
Sure, Victor Barrows. The dynamo, the brain.
I've heard all the adjectives.
He snapped his fingers and the world trembled, held its breath.
And hated.
What else? He was King Victor. You couldn't talk to him. He never talked. Never asked. Never discussed. King Victor told you. That was it. So you're a little tired of trying. You settled for an office with your name on the door, for a salary. For that rare little pat on the head when he felt extra good. You settled.
And you'd build a hate by thinking of ways of getting even. By playing footsie with his lady love.
Look, Captain, you've seen my mother. That was King Victor's work.
Tit for tat in the world of high finance. Look, I couldn't care less about your family's hobbies. You want to play Tobacco Road among the upper classes? That's your business. Somebody killed your father. That's my business.
Look, what are you trying to say, that I killed him? You know, this is almost funny. I told you my life in 2 words. No guts.
Haven't you heard? You've been reading the wrong newspapers. You don't have to have guts to kill. You could have bought it.
All right, look someplace else. Oh, I tried once. I got very brave. Tried to get a job on my own. Dishwasher was all I could get. I came running back. I've got no talent, Captain. I needed King Victor alive.
Yeah. I'm afraid you did. Any luck?
Not much. Just Barrow's business appointments, his phone calls, the usual. How about you?
No, same thing. Nothing with any meat on it. All we have is that one date torn out, the 21st, the day Barrow died.
Why would someone take that?
Obviously, there was something written on it.
Something someone didn't want us to see.
Barrows went to the bank that day. Barrows died that day. Undoubtedly, his bank appointment was written on that missing page.
That figures. Go on.
Let's take it from the top. If you find any holes in it, poke at it. You want some coffee?
Yeah.
Somebody wants to kill Victor Barrows. So he sets it up to look like a bank robbery and an accidental killing.
No hole so far.
And he was bright about it. The only outside help he used were a couple of Skid Row vegetables. They got rid of them when he didn't need them any longer. That way, there'd be no chance of blackmail.
And no chance of it pointing back to him.
Right. Now.
Thanks.
What was the one thing the killer had to be able to do to make the whole thing work?
Get Victor Barrows to that bank on a given day.
At a given hour. It probably had to be someone at his office. Someone he'd listen to.
Charles Cortland?
No. Chemical engineer. Different end of the business.
There's his son, Peter Barrows.
Not likely. Office boy with a title. Papa would listen to him if he said good morning.
Well, we're running out of names.
I have Mr. George Smith.
The accountant?
Head accountant. It'd be a cinch for him to get Barrows to the bank.
Yeah, and he could certainly get to that memo pad easily enough.
I have another clincher for you. We've been trying to find somebody that nobody can describe. I've been sitting here trying to picture what does Mr. George Smith look like? Mr. Average. The typical average man.
I'll get him, Captain.
did it, Smith? Who shot you?
See? You can say Smith. Why couldn't he? 23 years with Barrows. Terrible man. Cruel. No loyalty.
Why did you kill him, Smith?
He said I was slowing down. He was going to let me go. Not even a gold watch. You know, the worst part, 23 years, and he couldn't remember my name. What's his name? That's what he'd called me. I heard him. Tell what's his name to bring the books. Tell what's his name. Hurried up. Man's name shouldn't be a joke. My name is George Smith. Why couldn't he remember it?
The other men. You killed them too.
I didn't want to. They threatened to tell. When I went to kill them, they didn't know my name either.
3 murders, all because you wanted an identity. Was it worth it, Smith?
The money is in my basement. I wanted to give myself up.
Mr. Smith?
He wouldn't let me.
Who shot you, Smith?
He was stubborn about giving it up.
Take a good look at him. He's dead.
I swear I didn't want to kill him. I just wanted to talk to him.
Why? To keep him from telling us that you were mixed up with him? I thought I'd seen them all.
I heard my father fire Smith. There was something about the way he just stood there listening. And I knew he just wasn't going to take it. It was easy to convince. I just waited.
Well, he did the killing. Vultures do that for food. What's your excuse?
What was I supposed to do? King Victor, big man. He didn't leave me a nickel, cut me out of the will. He wanted to see me washing dishes. Again, he hated me.
I think he had the right idea.
You don't understand. You just don't understand.
Sure, I understand. You told me this afternoon. No guts. Take him downtown and book him 1st degree. Captain Burke, homicide. I'm at 14637 Valley Vista. I've got a body down here. Come down, pick it up. Smith. Mr. George Smith.
Hey, Miss Burke, what am I going to do with you?
No comment.
Do you want people to say that Amos Burke can't hit the side of a barn?
Now, what have you got against barns?
Never do that to a lady who's holding a loaded gun.
All right, drop that gun, lady. Pull!
Amos Burke, you fake. You knew how to shoot all along.
Well, I should hope so.
Lessons, huh?
Well, there are lessons. And there are lessons.
Are we going somewhere, boss?
Let's hope so. Oh, Henry. Practice.